Hi, I'm Leslie LaPlace, the fitness manager at Goodwin House Alexandria, and thank you for reading Anatomy Series 7 on the shoulders and neck. And today I'm going to take you through some exercises and stretches for the shoulders and the neck. I'm going to use a stretchy band and a set of weights, so depending upon what equipment you have at home, you either have a choice or you can use the one that you have. I will also show you these exercises in a standing and then a seated position. So I'm going to start with the dumbbells, and I'm going to start with an overhead press, kind of a basic shoulder strengthening move. And I'm going to take the weights, I'm going to hold them to my shoulders, palms facing my body. Now there's all kinds of variations, but I'm just going to be showing you the basic exercises. And what's important to remember is that as you press the weight above your head, your core needs to remain engaged. Because as we press weight over our head, we have a tendency to then arch our back, thinking that that's going to help. It's not. It's just going to, you're just going to hurt yourself. So you want to remember to maintain a neutral spine, and the core is engaged as you press weight overhead. Now, the other thing I like to remind my residents is that I prefer pressing weight up and on a slight diagonal so that my arms come by my ears more. I feel that that mimics more of that movement if you're putting something up on a shelf. You tend to go forward and up, not straight up overhead. And that's also easier on the shoulders. So again, you're just going to press the weight up, and then you're going to bring them right back down to the shoulders again. For strength moves, I always recommend you can go 10 to 15 repetitions. See how you feel. You can do a second set. When it starts to get easier, you can either add weight or repetitions, depending upon how many you're doing. The second one is going to be a lateral raise. That's just taking the arms up and out to the side. I have a slight bend in my elbow. And again, my elbows or my arms are in front of my body just a little bit, and I'm not raising my arms up any higher than shoulder height. And very important is to keep those shoulders down. We don't want to hike up the shoulders to the ears as we're lifting. Keeping the shoulders down, that core is engaged, and you are breathing. Okay? Front raises. So these can be difficult. You can do together, both arms at the same time. If you need to, you can do one arm at a time. So if that allows you to maintain good form, then I would recommend starting where you go one arm at a time. So notice that I'm not lifting this any higher than shoulder height. Again, when I'm lifting the weights, my core is staying strong so that I don't arch my back. To do them both together, you're just going to lift and bring them down, always controlling that weight on the way down. We don't want to lift and then drop our arms. You want to lift and take it down with control. Again, that can be hard to do when you're first starting out, so feel free to do one at a time, still with control. Sometimes I like to kind of mix those two up and put them together, and I'll do a front first, take it out to the side, and then down. And then you can reverse it, taking it out to the side, bring it to the front, and down. Now with that weight out in front of your body and out and away from your body, that core is going to engage because you're trying to stabilize. Otherwise, you can feel the weight here kind of pulling you forward. You want to stay up nice and straight the whole time, and don't let this weight kind of move the body. So again, the core plays a very important role when you're exercising in stabilizing the body and helping to prevent injuries. So again, you can combine these two moves, kind of alternating which one you start with. Then come out to the side, bring it up, and in the front. All right. Next is some external rotation, which should work your rotator cuff muscles. And you're going to keep your elbows by your side. So imagine you have a towel or a newspaper underneath both arms. So you got to hold your arms close to the body. Your arms are going to be at 90 degrees out from the body, and we're just going to open. So this is not a really big move, but you're going to feel those muscles on the inside kind of your back and in your shoulder, in the back of your shoulder working. And again, you're going to do this with control. We don't want to just start swinging willy-nilly. We want to take it out and in with control. Okay, again, remember to breathe throughout all the exercises. And the last one I'm going to show you with the weights, and then I'll go to the band, is a rear deltoid fly. So you're going to get into your bent over position. So I like to have a very slight bend in the knees, and I'm going to come over, hinging at the waist. I'm actually going to go this direction. Hinging at the waist, core engaged, arms are down by your side. And we're going to take the arms up and out, really squeezing those shoulder blades together and squeezing those back muscles together. Same thing, you want to take it out and then let it come down with control. We don't want to take it out and then drop our arms. We want to take it up and down with control, really squeezing those muscles. In this position, you want to make sure that your core remains engaged. In this bent over position, that's helping to stabilize and support and protect that lower back. So very important. All right, so I'm going to put the weights down, and we're going to do it with the band. Always, always, always remember to consult with your doctor before starting any exercise regimen. And these are just meant to give you an idea of some of the basic moves. There's obviously so many things that you can do to strengthen your body, more than I can show. So for an overhead press with a band, depending upon how long your band is, this can be a very hard to do if you're just starting out, because your band may be really tight. If it's too short, it's going to be very difficult to get those arms up and overhead without struggling. So what I would recommend, because this also gives you an opportunity to work a little bit of stability, some balance, is to go into a split stance. So putting the band under one foot, taking your other leg back. Now you're in a little unstable position, so you can work your balance a little bit here. Always remember that in this position, if you need more stability, you can take your foot wider, your leg is wider, so that'll give you a little bit more stability. If you want to challenge your balance a little bit more, you're just going to bring your leg kind of in line with that forward leg a little bit more. I like mine kind of somewhere in between. Knees are bent, so your forward knee is going to be over your ankle. And then just make sure you have enough band. And you're going to grab it in your hand. Again, starting at your shoulder, and then you're going to press it up. Again, I like to do this on a slight diagonal so that my arm is coming right by my ear, and it's more like I'm putting something up on that shelf, that top shelf. So after doing your reps on one side, then you would switch legs, switch hands, and do the other side. Breathing, always, always, always. All right, for the lateral raises, same thing. I would take it to 1 foot. Again, depends on how long your band is. My band happens to be long, so I could probably stand on 2 legs, with 2 feet here. I'm standing on 2 legs, but I could use both feet, or you can just have 1 foot, get into your split stance, and again, you're just going to lift that band out to the side. I have a slight bend in the elbow, and the arm always stays in this position. So my arm is going to stay with that slight little crook in the elbow, and then I'm just taking it up to shoulder height, and then lowering it with control. Again, I can switch feet, and then do my front raises. Now you can also use the split stance with the dumbbells as well, and in my classes I tend to use this position a lot because it is a little bit more unstable. So we try to practice balance as much as possible. So front raises and bring it down with control. So with the band, the beauty is you can add more or less resistance depending upon where you position your hands on the band. But you do want to make sure that you are feeling some resistance, both on the way up, and then you want to resist the pull of the band on the way down. So again, the band here wants to pull my arms down. Don't let them just drop down. And the same with the rear delt fly. I'm going to come over, and I'm going to take my arms out. This one's a little harder with a band, so I don't feel like I can get as much with a band that I can with the weights, because I really go slack at the bottom, and then I get the tension. So it's a little harder. I tend to make the move a little bit smaller here, but still I'm focusing on really squeezing those shoulder blades and back muscles together. For your rotator cuff, same thing, elbows by your side, so you're going to keep those elbows attached to the side of your body. I let the band come right over the palms of my hands, and then I'm just going to pull it out. Again, it's not a big movement. You can take your hands out further if you need more band, but this is not a big movement anyway. So you're breathing, keeping your shoulders down, and just pulling that band out to the side. Okay? So I'm going to do a couple of these seated, because for the most part they're the same in a seated or a standing position. I'll just show you how I tend to position using the band in a seated position. So you can either put the band underneath you, you can kind of sit on it. That gives you a lot of band to work with, particularly when you're doing an overhead press. Okay, so the same thing. When you're pressing those arms up over your head, you're going to start to feel that tension get harder as you press it up. You've got to keep that core engaged. Don't let that back arch to get your arms up overhead. So you can either sit on the band, or you can put your feet together right in the middle of the band, and you can press up this way. Again, it will depend on the band that you have at home, what the tension is on the band and how long your band is. To do your lateral raises, you can keep your feet on the band and just lift out to the sides. Again, you can want more resistance, you can just grab more band, and you're just going to take it up and bring it down. Always with control. Front raises, bring it up. Again, not lifting the front or to the side higher than your shoulders. Your overhead press is going to go above, but the front raises and the side raises only go to shoulder height. And for your rear delt fly, you'll sit forward in your chair, hinge forward from the hips, core engaged, and then pull. Again, this is going to be a really small movement. And you're going to take it out to the side. Okay? All right. Oh, I have one more. You do the standing. You can do the seated as well. It's an overhead pull apart. So your arms are going to come down in front of your body, and then you're going to take it overhead, pulling that band, stretching it out to the side, and then bring it down. So if you don't have good shoulder mobility, this might be a little bit difficult in just getting the arms up and then being able to pull. Again, you want to keep these shoulders down, and you're going to just pull this apart and really trying to focus on using these the muscles up here in the back, the upper back muscles, your shoulder blades, and helping with that movement. Okay, so we're going to do some stretches, and I'm going to start in the chair. Of course, you can do these seated as well. And one thing I want to mention is breathing, because I see a lot of residents who tend to breathe with their shoulders. And years ago, I used to do the same thing, is when I would breathe or take a deep breath, it would be, and we don't want to use the shoulders. That's just going to do a very shallow breath. You're only getting breaths to here. We want to get our breaths down into the belly and keep those shoulders down. And one way to know if you're breathing that way is that you can put your hands on your ribs. And when you take a deep breath in, you want to take it in through your nose. You want to keep those shoulders down. You should feel your ribs expand. When you exhale, blow it out through the mouth, and you're going to feel them contract. So, hands on the ribs, take a deep breath in through the nose, and out through the mouth. So you should feel your whole belly area expanding and contracting. Okay, so that's important. That's going to help, especially if you have a lot of shoulder tension. We don't want to breathe lifting the shoulders. That's going to help with that. I know it's a hard habit to break. I worked very hard to do the same thing. All right. So I'm going to start with some neck stretches. And the first one is going to be a neck retraction. I'm going to turn sideways here. And we have a tendency when we're watching TV or when we're reading or sitting or driving to sit like this. So we're hunched, our neck and our head is in a forward position, and the neck retraction is going to help pull the head back in line with the body. So you're going to sit up nice and straight. You can use 2 fingers if you want and put it on your chin, and you're just going to push your head back. You want to try to get your ears over your shoulders. I know for some people who've been like this for a long, long time, this is very hard. And you would have to work on this on a daily basis to be able to start to get your neck back more. But you can use your fingers and just pushing your head back. You're going to feel the neck muscles engage in the front and in the back of the neck. Just hold it for 2 or 3 seconds and then relax, okay? Doing that a few times. Next are going to be some head turns. So sitting up nice and straight, pulling that head back so that your ears are over your shoulders. You're going to take a deep breath in. Remember, keeping the shoulders down. And as you exhale, we're going to turn to the left. Try to look over your shoulder, keeping your nose, trying not to look up or down at this point. And you're going to inhale back to center, and then exhale to the right. And then inhale to center, and turn to the left. And inhale to center, and turn to the right. Now, you can hold these stretches, again, 2 to 3 seconds. The other thing you can do to get it a little bit deeper is when you turn and look over your shoulder, again, using 2 fingers, you can just gently press on the cheek to try to get that stretch a little bit deeper, to try to be able to look back over that shoulder a little bit more. And you don't want to force anything, but it can help you just get that stretch a little deeper. You relax and do it on the other side. Oh, that feels good. And come back. Good. Taking our chin down to our chest, you'll get a nice stretch in the back of the neck. And then slowly looking up to the ceiling. And then back down again, holding for a few seconds, and then taking it up to the ceiling. And back down. Good. Okay. Taking our arms up at 90 degrees, we're just going to take a deep breath in, and when you exhale, I want you to just pull your arms back a little bit more, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Your shoulders are down, so check to make sure that your shoulders aren't lifted to your ears. Shoulders down, pull back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Should feel a nice stretch in the front of the chest and in the front of the shoulders. And then relax. And then do it again. Holding, and then relax. Make sure those shoulders are down. We don't want to try to stretch the shoulders and the neck when your shoulders are all tensed and pulled up to your ears. To get a nice chest stretch and the front of the shoulders is you could put your arm behind you if you're sitting in a chair, or you could just, get your arm behind and grab the chair and then turn away. So everybody's shoulders are different. If you have any shoulder issues, listen to your body. Either don't do the move or don't go into it as deep, but modify it as you need to. Again, these are all just general stretches. You need to listen to your own body to make sure that you don't hurt yourself. So I'm just holding the back of the chair here, kind of trying to turn my body to face forward. I'm feeling the stretch in the front of the shoulders. Good. And always some nice shoulder rolls. And just lifting the shoulders up and back and down. I tend to do more shoulder rolls backwards because we are already so forward with our shoulders that I don't want to bring the shoulders forward more. But feel free to do a few to the forward, but then really focus more on doing shoulder rolls backwards. And then just kind of shake it out. Let's see. All right, so another good shoulder stretch is you can take your arm, again, keeping your shoulder down, and you can use your other hand to just bring that arm across the body. Bringing it in, you're going to feel a nice stretch through the front of the shoulder. Again, check to make sure that your shoulder is not all the way up to your ear. Drop it down. And breathe, and then we'll do the other side. And we can then, I like take it up and over, like you're reaching for that space between your shoulder blades. I like to start here with my arm out, and then you can take your hand to your shoulder. Using the other hand, you're going to lift it up and over. This just kind of gives it a little bit of help and can get it just a little bit deeper. And again, you're reaching for that space between your shoulder blades, like you're giving yourself a little pat on the back. This can also be very hard for people who have some shoulder issues. So for some people, they may only be able to go here. So, and that's fine. Again, do what you can, listen to your body, and don't force anything. Again, making sure that that shoulder is down. So it's going to get the shoulder. It's also going to get your tricep. Let's do the other side. Bringing it up and over. Okay. I am going to go into the other one. Okay, so we're going to take our right hand, we're going to grab the bottom of the chair, and this is going to hold the shoulder down. You can use your hand, your other hand, to gently bring the ear towards the shoulder. So I'm holding with my right hand. This is keeping my right shoulder down, and then I'm bringing my left ear towards my shoulder. My ear and shoulder are not touching. So I'm not hiking my left shoulder up to my ear. I'm keeping it down, and I'm getting a nice stretch from around all the way up my neck, near my ear, coming down the neck and down the shoulder. And then let's switch sides. And breathe. Good. And then let's just give it a few little shoulder rolls and just kind of shake it out. And that's all I have for the stretches. So these are really easy to do. You can do some of them just if you're sitting and watching TV. You can just do your, some neck stretches. You can even use your hands, doing neck rotations. So take a few minutes and try some of these, especially if you've been sitting for a long period of time over a computer, and see how you feel. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you very much.